let's call to the stage the cast and filmmakers of Captain Marvel. Up first, Kevin Feige. Excellent. And then right after that, we have Lashana Lynch. Jude Law. Our Captain Marvel, Miss Brie Larson. The linchpin of the MCU, Mr. Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson. Gemma Chan. Clark Gregg. And the dynamic duo that brought all of this together, Anna Bowden and Ryan Fleck. All right, let's take a seat, guys. You should have a microphone right behind you.
All right.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, like I'm so ready to go higher, further, faster. This is just, I'm so hyped for this movie. I've already seen it twice, and I hope everyone's gonna see it like 4 times like me. Kevin, I have to ask you, I know that the pitch with Anna and Ryan, there was something they said in that first meeting that you were like, yes, let's go. So what did they say about Captain Marvel? We were like, these are the guys.
Well, it was more than one meeting, right, guys? There were a number of meetings, and it's their body of work, and it's their focus on character, and it's their focus on, and our belief that they wouldn't have lost the character amongst the spectacle and the fun and the effects. And really, Anna spoke very eloquently about Carol Danvers and about that female hero. And over the course of developing the movie and producing the movie, Anna went up in a jet as did Brie, which was super impressive, and I wouldn't do for $1 million. And you did as well, didn't you go up there? It's astounding. So yes, it was those early meetings and their amazing body of work that made us realize they could bring Carol to life.
Oh, I love that. And then, of course, we have our Carol, Miss Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. This character, I don't want to tell too much, but this is not your average, not just a damsel in distress. This is a woman she's got a little edges to her. She's got some other things, but I've heard you say that this is what you love about her, is her dark sides are like a little bit extra. So tell us about why you love this Captain Marvel.
There's a lot to love about her, which is why I was really excited to do this. In particular, the idea of playing a superhero, or a female superhero in particular, because my interest is in female complexity, I was a little worried about playing somebody, a superhero that would be perfect, because I don't feel like that's realistic or something aspirational at all. In particular, even with my job, like you get to see this beautiful finished product where I look great, maybe, in your opinion, but you don't know all the other takes that are on the cutting room floor where sometimes I physically landed on my face doing stunts, and sometimes I just do a bad take. It's just how it goes. So getting to play a character where the whole character arc and turn of this is watching her be this major risk taker, which means it's not always going to work out the best. And those are the moments, the defining moments of her character, where she doesn't lay down, she gets back up. I mean, that's everything. That's for everybody. There isn't a person who can't relate to that, I don't think.
Yeah, that get back up, I loved it. It's my favorite part of, like, you know, just her with that fist. I'm like, yes, queen. But in the process of making this movie, you had to get back up. Did y'all see her push a Jeep? Anyone? Because I did, and I felt very bad about all my life choices, because I will never push a Jeep. So I think inspirationally for everyone else, in the process of this physical transformation you made to make Captain Marvel look like the strongest being in the galaxy, was there ever that day where you're like, I need something to like help me get back up? And where did you find that like extra oomph?
Yeah, all the time, all the time. Even training for that many hours every day for 9 months, like every day I was just like, I'm amazing. Like I sobbed in the gym many times. My trainer would be like, oh, she's crying again. It's very emotional when you're kind of stirring up something very vulnerable and raw inside of you, and you're also learning that it's just for you. There was nothing for me to prove. I wasn't proving it to other people at the gym. I certainly wasn't proving it to my trainer, because he was never going to be fully impressed. It's his job to not be impressed. It was for myself. And for me, the main reason for doing it was so that in moments like this, when we're talking about Carol's strength and we're talking about, you know, what I learned from her, it's that I'm stronger than I realized. Of course, this movie is like assisted with VFX because I can't personally shoot photon blasts. There's not enough prep in the world for me to do that yet, but I will figure it out if there's a way. But I can stand here and say that I am really strong. I was able to deadlift 225 pounds, I was able to hip thrust 400 pounds, I was able to push my trainer's 5,000-pound Jeep up a hill for 60 seconds. So this concept, when it comes to like gender norms or what the human body is capable of, or in particular maybe what a female body is capable of, it's capable of a lot. You know.
Doing that for me. She sent those.
I also was doing it to brag.
Send those to me.
Was she giving you the business on Instagram, being like,
he had that gym video
really,
like a year ago.
Really, this is what I gotta deal with? Okay.
Well, that I'm going to really try to maybe do a couple squats now. I'm just kidding. Anna and Ryan, though, I want to talk to you guys. One of the things I loved about the movie was how many 90s awesome touches it has. It's like dripping with 90s nostalgia, and it just brought me back to like my adolescence. Was that like from the script from the beginning? Did you have all the music cues? Did you have like, this is where we want to go? Or did that come in the like pre-production process to make it this 90s wonderland?
Oh yeah, we made like a big playlist at the beginning of the movie, and we shared it with the crew and some of the cast, and some of those songs are in the movie, but it was really just in post. We put the scenes together and just threw songs in and see what stuck, and it was very much a collaboration with Kevin and the whole team at Marvel to figure out which songs really worked the best. I actually worked in a Blockbuster in 1995, so that brought back a lot of memories creating that set.
For you, Anna, was there anything that you wanted to get in there that you couldn't? Like maybe a Fruitopia bottle? I was looking for it.
What were you looking for?
Fruitopia. That was like the drink from the 90s. Like I was like, please bring it back. That and Clearly Canadian.
Yeah, I was a big candy eater in the 90s, so there was a lot of, you know, even, do you remember those like little like kangaroo things that you could like dunkaroo? Oh my God.
Frosting!
That's what those, you're right, they're, you know what, you don't
Which
eat enough
flavor?
this movie.
Which flavor?
I liked like the kind of the vanilla with the little chocolate.
Totally.
You know? Anyways, you don't eat enough in the movie, so basically we couldn't get those Dunkaroos in.
Oh man, I would have loved that. And you had the right flavor too. The chocolate kangaroo with the vanilla icing. Anyone that disagrees, you're wrong. Sam, so this is a new Nick Fury that we get to see this time. Or not a Nick Fury we haven't gotten to see before. Let's put it to you that way. What did you particularly like about embodying, you know, this 90s version of our favorite shield leader?
Well, you know, sort of kinder, gentler, not so cynical, world-weary, chip on the shoulder Nick Fury, who hadn't met anyone from another universe just yet, and sort of looking at the crazy lady, trying to figure out why she thinks she's an alien and what all that means. And it's kind of fun to not be the all-knowing, you know, angry persuader that Nick Fury always is. And you know, even more refreshing to have two eyes, so I didn't have to cover one eye while I was learning my language.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you never forget your first alien. Let's keep it real. Also, did you see, I want to know from maybe Kevin or maybe you guys together, did you see Robert Downey Jr.'s like de-aging in Civil War and you were like, okay, I need to get this immediately? Like how did that come about? Like were you like, okay, I'm next? Or how did that whole go? And then how was the process of that, you know, on set with that little added bonus knowing they're going to be...
It's not a real on-set process.
Oh, no?
You know, they put the wig on me and they put dots on my face, so I kind of felt like I was in Wakanda.
Okay.
And, you know, they started exploring, you know, different things that I'd done before so that they could use facial expressions that were already there. Fortunately for me, I'd done, you know, like 3 movies before this one, so they had stuff to refer to. So it was cool. It was just me and dots on my face and having fun with Bree.
Yeah. Kevin?
The technology is spectacular, and we've done it in a number of films, and I think this represents the peak. However, the 2 people up here who we did do it to, Sam Jackson and Clark Gregg, are the 2 human beings on Earth who don't need it. I Google them in 1995, and it's almost identical, so we saved a lot of money. Let's put it that way.
That's good to know. Jude, I have to ask you, for your character, well, first I have to ask you, joining the MCU, I know you've done a ton of big movies, but joining the MCU is like a badge of honor for a lot of actors, and you have 2 sets of kids. You have teenagers and young kids. Did either of them care? Were they happy that you were going to be in a Marvel movie, or were they like, if it's not Frozen, I don't care anything about it?
Oh no, they cared. But they cared only in the vernacular of as teenage kids. It was like, yeah, it's cool. That's really great.
That is...
It's about what I got, but I knew that was quite high on the Richter scale, you know?
That's huge praise
exactly.
for a teenager. That's like a...
I was just saying to Kevin, they saw it this week and then there's a screening next week in London, and the fact that they all want to come again is a very good sign. With friends.
Oh, I love that. So that's awesome. Your kids are happy about your MCU appearance. And then LaShawna, I know you campaigned to be in the MCU. This was like a mission for you. Remember you telling us back at the set visit. So talk to me about your long road to you're like, I'm gonna get me a Marvel movie. Like, it's gonna happen.
I literally said, I'm gonna get me in their room. The voice that you just did was the voice that I had in my head for 2 years. I am a Marvel fan, so I've grown up watching them. I've grown up loving the characters, enjoying the trajectories, and I just had a feeling that something would come up. So I was like, send the tapes. And then they all didn't work out for a reason. They all didn't work out because I felt like energetically I was drawing towards something that represented something that I care about, women. So yeah, I campaigned. Of course I did.
I'm all for the campaign. I campaigned to be up here, so. One thing I will follow up though is Carol and Maria's friendship. Like, that is such a great dynamic in the movie, and I love it. What do you think would be, if we go back to the beginning of their friendship, what drew them together? Because we kind of go into the film where they're already best friends. So like, going back, and Brie, you can jump in on this one. What drew you to her, and then vice versa?
What drew you to me?
So powerful.
Same to you. They're both in the military, so they come from male-dominated environments where they would draw towards the women anyway. They would find power in whoever they, find energetic connections to. So I feel like they had a sarcasm together. The nice thing about how Brie's represented Carol is that she's just a normal person. She's able to be every facet of what a woman represents today. Sarcastic, dry, funny, she can kick men down and throw them into different parts of the universe. So I feel like Maria embodies that in a very human way. She's able to just be a kind, good person. Do you know what I mean?
A little softer version of Carol in all the way. I feel that.
A matching version, I think.
Yes, not softer. She's still a badass. I should correct that. What about you, Brie?
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. I think what they've gone through together, going through military training together, being the only women, and then using each other to lean on each other through that type of like support and a recognition of their experience is really special. I mean, of course, I think they would have been friends outside of that experience, but I think that that's a really tight-knit bond that they have in their family. I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about in this film is, without being too showboating about it, this is the love of the movie. This is the great love. This is the love lost. This is the love found again. This is the reason to continue fighting and to go to the ends of the earth for the person, the thing that you love. And it's her best friend and her best friend's daughter, which to me is so natural. I don't think that there's at any point, I went and saw the movie with some people, and it was like an hour later where they were like, oh, Maria's the love. I'm like, yeah. So it's not like something that we made a big deal about, but it just feels so natural because that love is so strong. And I'm going to brag about LaShawna for a second because I love it. It's like the movie shifts when she's on screen because there's a level of power that she commands in that I was talking with people yesterday, and a lot of people were tearing up talking about some of the speeches that you give because they're like, I felt like she was talking to me. She was reminding me of myself. Hello? That's amazing. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more than that.
Aww. I did call my best friend after watching it the second time, and first of all I was telling her, if you don't have your tickets, go now. And then I was just like, there's a great female friendship in it, which is just so beautiful. Another friendship that we get to see is Agent Coulson. Clark, you get to come back from, I don't know where you were. Like, this is where you are in the timeline, but at this point, if you're watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I feel for you guys because we're all a little confused, but you're back, you're back. You're back.
I'm confused myself.
Thank you. But you're back in the MCU. What was it like being back on set, Marvel feature film, Coulson is back?
It wasn't a long conversation. They said, hey, listen, do you want to come back? It's the 90s, cool soundtrack, Ryan and Anna. little origin buddy stuff with Sam. And they're going to give you more hair and make you look younger. Oh, and Brie Larson is going to be Captain Marvel. And I was like, okay, where do I go? And it superseded that in every way. It was so incredibly fun to do. And I've gotten the thrill of taking my young daughter to a bunch of Marvel movies, but I'm taking a 17-year-old young woman to see Captain Marvel next week, and I've never been more excited to take her to anything ever.
Oh, so awesome. I love that. Jenna, I'm saving the best for last. So I think it's going to be hard for a lot of folks. I have like deep cuts on your filmography going back to like Fresh Meat. I know, like I'm here.
Wow, way back.
Yeah. But other folks are just gonna remember Crazy Rich Asians. Recently, you were this Asian ethereal princess that was so regal, and then you show up this time as this like sniper mean girl, all in blue, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be like a steering wheel for people. So, what was it like embracing your inner mean girl?
I loved it. You know, I like to change it up and surprise people a bit, and it was really fun going from playing Astrid, who was this very warm-hearted, kind, empathetic person, to Minerva, who is much, well, she's got a harder edge, she's sarcastic, she's a bit of a mean girl, but I like that. I like kind of tapping into that side of me. It was fun. It's fun to be bad.
I like that. In sniper school, did you get to do any sniper school?
I did. I had to learn how to, crawl with a rifle, how to, I did all the drills. There's an amazing stunt team that Marvel have, and they help you look like you know what you're doing. Because I really didn't. And hopefully pulled it off.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to throw it to the audience in just one sec, but real quick, I'm going to, and there'll be microphones, so just raise your hand. I'll be as democratic as possible. Real quick, starting down here with Ryan. Again, I loved that it was the 90s, and I was obsessed. So I'm going to ask everyone real quick answer. Is there anything from the 90s that you want to come back? Maybe you're a Fruitopia, clearly a Canadian person like me. Or is there something that you obsessed about in the 90s? And you can't use Dunkaroos because we already talked about that one. But anything you loved from the 90s, like a book, song, anything that you're obsessed with?
Yeah, VHS tapes.
VHS. I still have VHS. That's also that.
Payphones, because then I wouldn't have to check my email all the time.
I wish MTV had videos again. I mean, not just 90s MC Hammer, which were awesome, but just videos, music videos.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Laser discs.
It's like so deep. But he is very passionate about laser discs, by the way, that's not a joke. Butterfly clips.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And they so good. So they needed. And that
I was a big fan of the band The Verve.
Oh, yes. Is that the Freshman?
Yeah. What if Richard Ashcroft is on his own now? Sad. And then they were The Verve, and then they were just Verve.
Which one do you want, the
Verve. Blur. Verve. Sway. Garbage.
All right, and Verve, you can thank...
Thurs ended all the thurs ended up in a pile.
You can thank Jude for y'all spike on Spotify after this. Okay.
R&B, just R&B. 90s R&B was the truth, man. The truth. I'm gonna actually start a campaign to bring back 90s R&B. Great, I have one for you as well, actually, to share. That's my answer.
All right, I'm loving that.
Video stores. I miss walking around video stores.
All right, all of those are video stores. All right, so I'm going to go around here, and I'm gonna go right here, How I'm Raised. Yes, sir.
Hi, for Ryan and Anna. Well, especially if you worked in a blockbuster in the 90s, the True Lies standee was great. How did you land on that to be the standee that gets blasted? And were there any other great 90s movies that almost got that spot?
Yeah, I think we tried to use The Mask with Jim Carrey because of the scrolls, and we thought that would be funny. But the studio did not give us permission to use it, so bummer.
Actually go right here.
Yep, right in front.
Hi everyone, congratulations on the movie. It was amazing. Brie, I felt like Kamala watching this movie, honestly. So my question is, we've seen you do so much like research with the comics and the physical prep. I wanted to know at what point in your immersion of your work did you find Carol? Was it a quote? Was it like something you accomplished? And what was it like to sort of mirror that journey in the film?
It's an interesting one because usually I prep for a really long time to kind of put myself in the feeling or in experiences of the character to try to like see how I react and try to become her, I guess, in a way. But usually it's super delayed for me. It's usually my mom that points it out, where she's like, oh, I think you're turning into somebody else. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm Carol now. It's always a little delayed for me. And it's not like I have this moment. I know some actors who have this moment where they're like, she's arrived. I don't have that. And I think part of it is because I never want to feel like I have it or that I know her. It always feels a little elusive to me, which is how you can keep trying and keep searching every day for a year, you know? If you feel like you've arrived, then it's kind of game over. I always like to feel like I'm losing it a little bit.
Excellent. All right, I'm gonna go right here, the one waving at me. A wave gets my attention, I'm sorry.
Hi everybody, my name is Tatiana King-Jones. I'm from For All Nerds Show. And this question is for each of you, actually. What was the biggest lesson or takeaway you've received after filming this project?
Mine was that...
Well, she asked what was the biggest takeaway that you took after you guys wrapped from
or lesson.
Project, or lesson.
Okay.
Mine was... down the line. Mine was my forever appreciation for single mothers who don't get enough light shone on them ever. So to be able to have that opportunity to represent them and say like, kind of like a universal thank you for your work was really special, actually. And I kind of went to my mum and other mums that I know afterwards and was like, can I just say thanks for everything that you've done for the last however many years? And it really goes a long way just to say thank you daily, because then they're able to feed back to other mothers and say, you know, we're actually doing an all right job. We're actually enough. So that's what I've taken away.
I think you always take away the experience of meeting new people. You know? Every job you do, that's one of the blessings of the jobs we have. I mean, you meet and work with a whole new group of people, and I think that's always a blessing.
I realized that I was stronger than I realized, which was crazy because I knew I was really strong.
I walked away thinking my friend, the movie star, is crossing over into, you know, a new space that's going to be really awesome. Her anonymity is gone.
Yeah, you can't do this.
He loves having a front row seat to this, by the way. Dang. There and the Oscar stuff too. He's just like always in the corner, like, dang. He looks weird.
As a good friend would.
Yeah.
Joe?
I now know that if you're going to play a blue character, you have to go to work at 3 a.m.
No more of that.
I've had a long journey, 11 years I think, and including 130 hours of television and a lot of trauma and heartbreak. So for me to come back around to a very innocent, excited space, an origin moment, I found it really moving.
And Ryan?
I think I realized over the course of making this movie that I'm, as a person, kind of more comfortable hiding and not being seen. And like literally, I just remembered this story of how Ryan and I, when we made our first short film together, and we were at Sundance, and we won an award, and we got on stage, and I literally hid behind him, and it's on tape somewhere, and just I think this process, the whole process, has helped me, you know, be more confident in my voice and just be more comfortable, or not. I'm not very comfortable right now, I gotta be honest, but a little bit more comfortable just being seen.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've always sort of known this, but I learned just how kick-ass my directing partner is. She's awesome.
I don't want to leave you completely out, Kevin. I know this is like your children, and this is the 20 plus now. But anything particular you're gonna leave away with Captain Marvel?
No, I mean, I think all these answers were amazing. I think what Jude said, it's about meeting new people. It's about seeing people grow and evolve, and bringing an unbelievably powerful female character to the screen.
I love that. All right, I'm gonna go, gentleman right here in the blue. Yes, you, sir. Yes.
Hi, everyone. That's my question. I can just think of it off the top of my head. So there's been a lot of conversation about the push to really diversify and make more inclusive the discourse around the film. I wanted to ask all of you, how does having more voices sort of reflecting on these types of projects really inform the way that you bring the characters to life?
Oh, how we bring the characters to life?
Yes.
Go Bree.
It's important.
Hey, do you want to answer for me? Jeez. Well, I mean, that's kind of an interesting question because it's not so specific as that I'm not going to do anything for a specific reaction. I'm just doing what I can do based upon my experience and my one body, which is why representation on screen is so important. Because not one of us can tell the entire story, we can only tell our piece of it. But with films like this that do end up going international, a lot of the time with smaller movies you don't know. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It means you get to have a really extensive conversation with movies like this. And I'm so grateful that this film has so many pockets in it. If you want to just enjoy it, you totally can. But there are a lot of aspects to it that I think are worth talking with your friends about, talking with your family about. And so when you have a multicultural, global conversation like that, I think it allows all of us, through the veil of metaphor of a film, to be able to reveal some deeper truths and maybe empathize in a new way. Does that answer your question?
Definitely.
Okay, cool.
I just want to add to sort of like add a little more to that. I want to say, going back to the set visit that I was on way back, last year, everyone on the stage, Disney Publicity, Marvel, they committed to extra time, extra trips, extra resources so that this entire press conference could be more inclusive. And as I look out into the press conference audience, I see those results, and I just want to thank everyone on this stage and Disney for making that happen, because it's amazing, and thank all of you. All right, I'm gonna go right here. Yes.
I just loved the friendship between Maria and Carol. It was so moving to me. I would watch a separate movie of just you two going through your Air Force career. Yeah. So I come from an Air Force family, and I was wondering, did you go through a military training for the movie? And I'd love to hear about it.
I've been talking a long time. Please, I'd love to hear you say it.
Yes, I was able to take some military training. Flying an F-16 is like your eyeballs coming out of the sockets and landing in your back pocket. That was great. I can't liken it to anything else but that. It's wonderful to be able to be an actor and just add these different experiences and skills to your repertoire. And it was nice to just have the military welcome me into their environment and feel really like noticed. Do you know what I mean? For the women to be really uplifted through the MCU. I think it's such a special marrying of two types of worlds that really meshed well together. So I feel like I'm not only representing women, I'm representing black women, I'm representing single mothers, and we're representing all women in the military, and that's pretty damn special.
Excellent. On this side, I'm gonna go right here in the glasses, and this, yes ma'am, you. No, you ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jackson, can you talk about working with a cat? Is it like...
I knew the cat was gonna come up. I didn't even need to know the answer to that.
Are you a cat person in real life?
Question to the answer to the last question. No, I'm not a cat person. But I'm also not a dog, bird, or fish person either. So I just don't engage pets. Reggie is like most animals that people bring to set that have been trained to do this, that, or the other. He's snack oriented. You know? Give him something to eat, he shows up. You know, you give him something to eat, you talk softly and nice to him, give him something to eat again, they love him. You know, it works out, and that was actually forecast, but Reggie did the majority. He did the heavy lifting most of the time. But it was great to be around. I mean, she had more problems with him than I did because she has cat allergies.
Not personally, I'm severely allergic to clear.
Not problems. I mean, issues.
We weren't like, it was not sort of like diva, like we couldn't work together. Sabotage, we
didn't hang out between shots. I mean, nobody was walking around like, hey, let's carry Reggie around. No, we gave him back to the people that owned him and, let him be in his own space. Send him back to his own trailer.
Just to be clear, the other three cats were more like Reggie's stunt doubles.
Exactly, yeah, they weren't so people friendly.
I remember so it was Gonzo, Rizzo, Archie.
They really don't see it that way.
I just, real quick to Ryan and Anna, because you guys wrote that in there with the cats, was there any temptation at any point not to go with because you guys added so much more work by using a live cat, like that was like way more hours.
Why do you think that?
There's something about getting a cat to just do what he normally does, and it was part of the struggle actually of having a very well-trained, very directable cat on screen, is that sometimes we just wanted him to do the random thing that a cat's gonna do, like lick his paw or go rub up against somebody. And so we sometimes had to be, kind of suggest to the trainer, maybe just let him do his thing for a little while, because there's something about the spontaneity of what an animal can do, and I feel like it was worth it. I'm not gonna say Reggie did literally everything in the movie. For instance, there's a moment when he's being held by the scruff, and we did not do anything.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on this side right here. Yes, sir, right in the front.
I just wanted to know, when you guys all go to set, who's the alpha dog? Because Captain Feige is the head of the studio. Brie, you are you're Captain Marvel. Samuel Jackson, you're Samuel Jackson. I just wanted to know in your set, who's the alpha dog, in terms of who you guys think is
Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie.
The set got very, very quiet and respectful whenever Reggie came on. And the actors were like, how come we don't get this respect?
I got in trouble because I ran screaming, Shake Shack! Right next to the cat. They're like, the cat's working right now. That was my one very unprofessional moment.
So the cat's the diva. Good to know. Good to know. All right, I'm gonna go right here. Yes, ma'am. On the edge. Yes. Yeah. So good to know.
He's coming.
Sorry, I gotta pass this one down a bit.
Well, congratulations, guys. In a word, the film is electrifying. And this, I gotta ask Ryan and Anna, I've been
Who that?
Here, I'm here,
I'm so sorry.
Okay, my bad.
I know the two of you. We've been on this journey for years, going all the way back to Half Nelson, Sugar, Mississippi Grind. To see what the two of you have done here is amazing. This is a leap that few directors get a chance to make from the world of a little indie film to a Marvel tentpole. So I'm curious what the learning curve was like for the two of you doing Captain Marvel and now introducing and working with VFX-heavy visuals as opposed to your character-driven beauty.
Hey, character.
I said that character-driven beauty that is still here.
It's true. I mean, I think in the early conversations with Kevin and with Brie, that's what we wanted to bring to this story, is a continuation of the things we've done in our other movies, which is an intimacy and character-focused storytelling. The visual effects were challenging at first for us, but we were working with the best in the business here, and they've done one or two of these movies before we got here, and we were just we were in good hands, and we were able to lean on them and work very collaboratively with the VFX team and learn how that works. And they were patient with us, and it was wonderful. I can't think of a better studio to take that leap with. I mean, they're just the best collaborators at Marvel, and really let us tell the story we wanted to tell.
And I just want to add to Kevin, this is something that you guys have built through this 10 years, is this system. Like, how did you guys have developed more to make it more a process where directors can come into a big movie like this? So what did you guys do?
Well, I mean, in terms of the visual effects, it was having Victoria Alonso, who's been with us since the beginning, who knows this stuff inside and out, is an amazing mentor to filmmakers. Christopher Townsend was our visual effects supervisor, who's done many movies for us. And because it ultimately is always about the story, there's nobody pushing. Process never overwhelms story. We'll alter the process if it fits the story, if it fits their vision. And that's how you end up with a great movie like this.
Love it. All right, we have time for one more. I'm going to go right here in front. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. So, first of all, I just want to say, amazing movie, completely empowering, and I thought it was absolutely one of the best to come out so far. My question for anybody really is, what was your favorite scene to film? Is there something that really stands out to you? Is there a favorite part that really spoke to you? Anything like that?
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
I know. I'm like, okay, I'm loving that one, but they're probably not going to be able to answer it. So, okay, I'm going to do one more real quick.
There's a girl here.
Say again? Stand up. Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. I'm sorry. I can't see either. Thank you. Yes, perfect. Appreciate you.
This is Lula Alderson from Scholastic Kids Press Corps. So I'm 12 years old. What do you hope for kids my age to take from Captain Marvel?
Perfect ending question.
Have you got to see the movie yet?
Yeah.
You did? I'm more curious to know what you thought of the movie. I mean, we made it for you, so that's really what this is about. I feel like the world is already telling you so much as to how you're supposed to think and feel and interpret things and who you're supposed to grow up to be. We're not supposed to put that on you. We're just showing you images, and it's up to you to decide. So what did you think?
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah. Is there something that you took away from it that you liked?
I loved you as Captain Marvel because I thought you were such an empowering female role figure and role model, and I think that all my friends and me, when we watch the movie, will all really appreciate that.
Thank you. That's the best of you. And we're going to all cry our way off the stage. I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank all of you. And again, let's give it up for the cast of filmmakers of Captain Marvel.